Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Wave On. I'm your host, Misty Marcum, here in Sylvan Lake, Michigan, and I'm introducing another guest out in Montana. And before we get into the episode, let's go to lunamoonSUPyoga.com. Use your code LUNA10 shirts retail. Check it out. Welcome. It's another episode of Wave On, and I'm happy to introduce another outdoor enthusiast, and she has built a new life out in Montana, and she's got a FreedWoman Retreats. So I've got on the line Sara Freedwoman, and we'll hear the story about that, I'm sure, here. But she's developed this all about helping women to stand strong personally, physically, and even professionally. And Sara, welcome. Thanks for being on the podcast here, Wave On. And I am dying to hear all about your story.
Thank you so much for having me, Misty.
Yeah, great to have you. Good to see you and meet you. And I'm following on Instagram, your FreedWoman Retreats, and following your story about building this. So you've got one that's coming up soon. And why don't you start with that? How you even came about creating a retreat based for women?
From FreedWoman Retreats from the beginning, or this retreat specifically?
Start from the very begining.
The very beginning.
Very All beginning. Right. Let's dive right into
Long ago, 32 years ago. No.
She's gonna take it way back.
No, I've been into the outdoors for a long time. It's just where I feel my sense of belonging, who I am, where I'm truest to myself. It's where I connect with the universe to get a little woo. Mm-hmm. And a few years ago, I was kind of at a crossroads, really kind of figuring out I wasn't really happy in what I was doing as a job then. And I was actually talking with my therapist, who's also a shaman and herbalist, and kind of saying if I could do anything in the world, what would it be? And the idea that came up was something related to outdoor education. I had just spent time in Vermont, and that's one of my favorite places in the world.
Cool.
And I was kind of thinking about that idea. At the same time, I had known that I was going to be doing a yoga teacher training the upcoming fall. This time was summer, springish. So I knew I could tie those things in together at some point. And then a few weeks passed, and I had gone through some really tragic life things. I was in immense periods of grief, and from that dark place of grief, a lot of creativity was stirred. From the ashes rise the phoenix, if you will.
Yeah. Right.
And I realized that I needed to do something more with my life. I needed to do something to give back. I had always known that I wanted to help people. And at that point in my life, I figured me going through what I was going through at that time, that women were the people that spoke to me the best, the most. I felt like I wanted to connect women because through different facets of my life, I had found connection from my communities of women, and I wanted to do that for other people.
Right.
So somehow combining this idea of outdoorness with yoga, meditation, and women's circle. So I remember it was October by the time I planned my first retreat, and it was a simple 2-hour, let's go for a hike, but also add this women's circle component to it, where we talk about the moon, where we talk about our feelings, where we're not necessarily just going on a hike and being a hiking club. We're going to actually get to know one another a little bit deeper. We're going to talk about things that make us a little bit vulnerable, but from that point we grow. And from then I led countless retreats, probably close to 50, 100,
wow.
along that same line, really fine tuning the curriculum.
Oh yeah, that's cool. So it kind of evolved and grew. Where did you go for your first retreat?
My first retreat was back in Pennsylvania when I was living there. There was a nature preserve there that we used that I loved. I was really familiar with, and it had I think the loop around is only like 2 miles, and we like did it twice, but stopped at different points throughout to, talk, to connect with one another.
Wow, cool. How long ago was that?
I have to do a little bit of math here. I think it was October of 2018.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Hmm.
So then you're new to Montana. How do you like it there?
Oh, I love it. I feel
How did
like
you
for the
pick
first,
Montana?
oh, that's a good question. I knew I wanted to live in big mountains. I knew like for the past few years, I knew I wanted to live in big mountains and I didn't know where exactly. And then I actually visited here 7 years ago just for a day. I had been vacationing in Jackson Hole and came up here for a music festival. I went snowboarding at Bridger Bowl, which is the local ski mountain
Oh,
here.
cool.
And I guess this place, Bozeman, has been like on a low simmer in the back of my mind for a while. And when I was thinking about like where I would eventually end up the past year and a half or so, I've just been thinking about Bozeman. And when the pandemic hit, ended my relationship, and had a remote job and came out here.
Wow. Very cool. Nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, so how has it been just exploring and finding things, and I bet probably a lot of fun, huh?
Absolutely the best. Like for the first time in my life, like in this community, I actually feel seen. I've always felt like a little bit of an outsider in the Philadelphia suburbs. Being into rock climbing and snowboard and hiking and backpacking and all those outdoor things that they're pretty atypical out back east. In the community as I was in, or in the location I was in. And I come out here and the question is, what do you do? But it doesn't have anything to do with your job or your profession. It means like, what do you do in the mountains?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could totally see that. I mean, it's similar to Colorado as well, I think. And probably Pennsylvania is very close to Michigan, even though the similarities, I mean, uh, it's hard to pinpoint and say something that blankets everything. But I mean, like I'm on a lake, which is, with a lot of outdoorsy people. So it's not a suburb, but if you were in a suburb, it would probably be completely different where, they're more out to be maybe interested in what the brewery or outdoor eatery or whatever it might be, you know what I mean? And yeah, I could totally see that because, being an outdoors person, which we share very much in common, it's like that's what you really want to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's more than enough breweries and food places around
Oh,
here
I'm
and
sure.
coffee
You
shops.
totally. Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it's the outdoors that draw people here.
Yeah. Well, I'm imagining actually when you were kind of describing where you're at in Montana, the Bozeman, right?
Hmm.
Okay. And I've never heard of it before. So I actually did a little mapping today. I was like, oh, it's right there, like they shows the capital and then how you're like a little south of the capital. I'm kind of into where things are located. I'm just, that's just how I've always been as a kid, even like how far and what's the relation of where this is at on the map. But we in Colorado in the mountains, oh, actually it just lost my mind on what the city was called. It's just by outside of Dillon or Lake
Okay.
Dillon, smaller like town, but just near Copper Mountain. It just lost me, but it was making me think of that like cool little coffee shop and little walkery eateries and things like that, but all surrounded in the mountains and just outdoorsy type people,
Yeah, that's
walking around
pretty
with their
much what's here.
dogs and
Oh yeah, the most dog friendly.
oh, that's so cool. That's so good to
Mhm.
hear.
Yeah,
That's
it's the
awesome.
best out here.
So you fell in love with Montana and then you you made the life choice to switch it up and everything, and how cool is that? Kudos for you to make a big bold move like that. And you're taking your retreats with you. So you're building a new one that's coming up out soon, right? Is it going to be like
Yeah,
a
so
bigger one?
I'm sorry.
Is it going to be a bigger one?
Oh, it's going to be bigger and better. So when I started FreedWoman Retreats, we would always talk about, life vision, what the goal is. On the retreats, those are some of the things we talk about. And I told everyone, like, my dream is to have my land out west. I want to have a yurt where I have women's circles, and people will come out from all different places to visit. Don't necessarily have the land yet, but I've got the spot out west, and I have connections to help with the retreat. So this summer is the Empowered Woman Retreat, and it's in July 8th through 11th, and it's going to be a 4-day retreat. That's hiking and yoga. I'm calling it a hiking and yoga retreat for the soulful woman.
Oh,
And yeah,
sweet.
we're going to do some hiking, yoga, obviously,
Yep.
some intention setting. We're going to have a fire ceremony. You can't come visit here without going to hot springs. So we're going to do that. And we're going to eat at some local eateries. It's going to be great.
Sweet. Sounds nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be lots of fun.
Yeah, very cool. What's been some of the things that you have discovered while you were there and didn't know about until you moved there?
Out here in Montana?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't realize how low my expectations were for people to be nice.
Yeah.
That was one of the things that just shocks me constantly, coming from a Philadelphia suburb where people don't have the best attitude all the time in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
So when people genuinely like want to say hi to you when they're walking their dog or just in the store, truly nice people. But then the outdoor lifestyle, just like I got into cross country skiing out here. I got into snowshoeing. And I would say like very professional. Like I've been to some other small mountain towns where some of the people working at like the local places, a little bit lofty, a little bit out there, but I just get the sense of very grounded professional people, like follow through with you. And that's just anyone, like even the college kid working at the pizza shop.
Wow. Yeah. Very cool. Mm-hmm. Nice. The most of the women that you have coming out for this season, is it going to be more local? Are you meeting new people, and how's that working out?
Yeah. So right now I have a lot of interest from my people back home, back east. So that's probably where I'm going to get most of my people to fill this large retreat. And then I'm offering a deal for like any local Bozeman nights. If any women who are local want to, come and join the retreat for the full time or like a partial time, I'm, offering some discounts. But in May, I'm going to start doing the hiking retreats. So kind of like what I did back east in Pennsylvania, I'm going to offer that here in, I don't know, so many of the local hiking spots. I can drive 15 minutes and be hiking up a mountain here.
I was going to say you probably have a lot more options, right?
Just a few. I mean, I don't know if you've ever used the app All Trails, but it's a little bit overwhelming when you put in like your location here.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Wow, that's neat. That's really cool. Yeah. So that's awesome. You'll get to do the big retreat and then like some little mini ones, and they kind of, you're going to get started on that one soon, I would think.
Yeah, my first date for that's going to be May 23rd, and that's a Sunday, and I'm putting out all my information this weekend for that.
Yeah. Do you have to kind of give a lot of detail, maybe a shopping list for them to be prepared?
Yeah, for the larger retreat, I actually have plans to work on that this weekend. But yeah, a shopping list, like a workout list, because coming out here,
oh, yes.
It's a different elevation. We're roughly 5,000 feet closer to the sun, so
yeah,
got to get used to that. But also
water.
yeah, the climate's a lot drier, so a lot of water to drink. Yeah, I'm gonna give people like a workout plan of what they can do to get in shape, because the elevation and just the trails in themselves, you're going uphill, you're going up the mountains.
Yeah, that's definitely that across the board. If you even snowboard out in Colorado or ski, same. You gotta Midwest people got to get ready for that Western experience for sure.
Yeah.
Drink a lot of water. That's all I can say.
Yep.
Yep.
Definitely.
Pre-hand, like, I mean, what would you recommend? Like maybe 2 or 3 weeks beforehand up the water? I mean, I drink a lot of water as it
Um,
is, but
yeah, I'd say like half a week before you start drinking a lot of
okay.
water. But that's what we learned in wilderness first aid. At least like around half a week
Oh
ahead
yeah.
of time, just start pounding the water.
Oh wow. So you did one of those? Like, where did you do that?
Actually in New Jersey. It was one of the things I wanted to do to feel comfortable just in case something happens with FreedWoman Retreats. So it was a 2-day intensive, like help people in the backcountry wilderness first aid.
Oh, awesome to know. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, that's really good. Perfect. Um, so you got the last name, Freed Woman. How did you pull that one off? I have to ask. It matches the name of your retreats.
So you can see my dog behind me. he's moving his paws.
Yeah, he's
Um,
cute.
so when I got married, my last name was Freedman, or became Freedman. And when I started the retreat business, FreedWoman Retreats, and one of the things that allowed me to move out here to Bozeman was the fact that I'm getting divorced, which is all good. Ended things on best of terms, and um, but I figured I didn't want to necessarily go back to my maiden name. I should just change my name to Freed Woman. So my maiden name will become my middle name. So it will be Sarah Glassman Freed Woman. So in the next month or so, I'll be able to do that process.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, so the retreat drove the last name.
Yeah, pretty much. It's kind of a mix of both because like Freed Woman Retreats started from the last name and
Yeah.
now the name's coming from the retreats. And, I'm going to be divorced, so I'm going to be a freed woman. So it all works out.
It all works out. It all pans out with your brand and your vision and mission. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Sweet. That's
My
awesome.
life.
Yeah, your life. Well, what are some other fun things that you've kind of come across being out in Montana?
Oh, other fun things. I mean, probably just all the outdoor things. I live like 25 minutes from the ski hill. So I've snowboarded like I don't know, like over 20 days this season, which is the most I've ever in my life.
Yeah, that's
Um,
amazing.
yeah, like I couldn't be happier about that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, getting into cross country skiing, but I do next winter. I'm determined to learn how to downhill ski. So I went right to snowboarding when I started winter sports, and out here it's more of like a ski mountain, just the way the snow is, the way the bowls are set up. And I also want to go backcountry. I want to tour,
Mm,
which is like backcountry skiing. So
yeah.
gonna get into that. Definitely want to get into stand-up paddleboarding this summer. There's lots of lakes and rivers out here.
Oh, yeah. Is there a lot, like a
Uh-huh.
ton?
Yeah, it seems like a lot of fun.
Oh,
We'll have
yeah.
to talk about that.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about that for sure. Yeah, totally. So yeah, you'll be buying get your first paddleboard.
That's the plan. Right now, I'm in the process. I have a pickup truck, and I'm in the process of getting a cat made for it, so the bed can be enclosed, and that
Mm-hmm.
will become my area to sleep this summer when I go camping. And I'm so
Whoa.
excited about that.
It's not van life, it's
Truck
truck
life.
life. Perfect. Oh,
Yeah.
wow, well, that's cool. And then you can bring your dog with you too, right?
Oh, that's the plan. And as mud season approaches, so mud season's when all the snow melts and we're left with this muddy land, I can throw my dog in the bed of the truck and not in the front seat with me.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you'll have to get him like a little outdoorsy shower or something.
Yeah, we'll have to figure that out.
Oh, that's awesome. So cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, so you plan on traveling around. What kind of board do you think you want to get?
definitely an inflatable one so I can take it from place to place. I have a few ideas, but I'm always open to suggestions.
Yeah, right. Well, you think you're going to do more river and lake? River
Mhm.
and lake. Is the river got a lot of current to it? A lot of rocks or?
I think so. I'm not
Yeah.
too sure. I haven't been out here in the summer yet to know.
I'd probably be careful with that one. Just, depending on how rocky it is and then maybe the depth of the water. And, if your
Hmm.
fin was to hit those
Hmm.
rocks, they have different boards actually for more of whitewater river rafting. They have different types of boards. So that is the only thing I would probably be, cautious about, like where, and depending on which board you get, lakes. I mean, you can get an inflatable, a 10-6 or an 11-foot board and be just fine and not have to really worry about that. But yeah, that the river part. Yeah, I would, because I don't know. I would just exploring around. You might want to. I don't know if you'd ask some locals, see what they say too. Is there like a lot of
Hmm.
little local shops in the area,
Oh
outdoorsy
yeah.
shop? I'm sure there has to be.
Oh yeah. That's yeah, definitely. Also, I don't know how much I want to do like whitewater stuff. I like the supping that's like nice and mellow.
Yeah, yeah, right. So, I mean, that's yeah. So if you decide to just do like, okay, well, there's a little bit of current, and whether you do down current, get dropped off at one point, and then have a car or something, to get back. But I would
Hmm.
definitely go to the local shops and even just talk to them and stuff.
Hmm.
Um, Inventory is a thing too, still
Yeah.
right now. So you might want to start doing research soon. Cause
All of it.
yeah, cause well, time goes by fast and then
Mm.
just everyone's anxious to and getting ready to do the whole outdoorsy life again. Which was what happened last year.
Yeah.
And inventory went fast. Kayaks, paddleboards, tents, everything. So it's still kind of on track to be the same right
Mm.
now for it's unfortunately, but yeah, just jump on it, see what you can find.
Yeah, I'll take a look.
Yeah, for sure. Um, if you were to name a lake or maybe a river, what would it be? You think?
Name a lake,
Yeah,
the FreedWoman River.
I was gonna say maybe it's just Freed Woman.
Yeah.
One of these lakes
Sounds
or
nice.
rivers that are on your retreat.
Yeah.
You just throw a name on it and you're like, yep, this is it.
That that's it, the FreedWoman Lake.
Freed Woman Lake. Beautiful. That's so funny. Oh my gosh. I think that the way I envision it is, just the scenery, the mountains, which I've seen some of your posts on Instagram, which, look really cool. And, just being surrounded by all of that, it will be a super fun experience for someone, especially coming from out in Philadelphia area and they kind of already know you, but you're introducing them to a new environment.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. I'm really excited. I do have some people coming from like the Boston area, so
Really
that'll be
nice.
yeah. I'm pretty excited about that.
That's so cool. Nice. Are you
Mhm.
going to bring the dog?
So I normally don't bring him on any of the like retreat activities because he's a distraction, to be honest. And when we're like out on the trail doing our women's circle activities, I want to be kind of really present with everyone and facilitating it. And he has his temperament moments.
Does he really?
Yeah, he doesn't understand the concept of just being present. I don't know how you teach a dog this,
Sure.
but if we're like if we stop on the trail, he'll just sit and cry because he wants to keep moving and moving.
Yeah, I would have the same problem with my dog. She doesn't understand that either unless she's already had a bunch of activity and she's, ready to chill. But as soon as you stand up, she's ready to go.
Oh yeah, that's how he is.
You're like, I'm just standing up to stretch my legs. She thinks we're going.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I love your necklace, by the way.
Oh, thank you. This is a selkie. Do you know what a selkie is?
No.
Um, so one of my friends got this, but she got me like a different selkie and this came with it. It's from Celtic tradition. And basically it's like your outside skin. There's a story of like like mermaid type creatures, but they're
Sure.
selkies. Not really mermaids. It's like human seals, I guess you could say.
Okay.
And they're women, and they every like so many years they leave the ocean and come onto land. And there's a story about one that essentially like leaves her home in the ocean and comes to live on land, only to find out like it's not her truest self to be doing that. She's following someone else's dream. So when she returns to her selkie self, she's returning to her skin, to herself. So it's a good reminder. Like my shaman was like, you should be wearing your skin on the outside. And it's true. That's like how I feel now, embodied in myself.
Wow. Where did you get that? Where'd you find that?
Um, my friend sent it to me. The story that I read that in is it's called "If Women Rose Rooted." Actually, Misty, I think you would love this book. The book tells a bunch of like short stories about like Celtic tradition,
Yeah.
like fables, if you will, and they're all about from the women's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then it goes into telling how when women are in certain locations in the world, they feel most alive. So there's a story about like being close to the water, being in the marshy land, being in the mountains.
Yeah.
And then it tells the author, Sharon Blackie, tells her personal story about like how she's moved from place to place and like what has gotten her to where she is in that story and how it resonates with her. But my friend was like, you need to read this because you're going to live in mountains. Like that's when people ask me in Bozeman, like, what brought you out here? My answer is the mountains.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. What's the name of the book again?
If Women Rose Rooted.
If Women Rose Rooted.
Yeah. So if we rose while we were already like rooted down to the earth and rooted in our truest self.
Yeah. What's the cover of the book look like?
Um,
Oh, are you
it's
gonna pull it
blue.
out?
It's not. There he is.
Aw.
It's blue and and there's a tree on it.
Mhm.
I have it in my living room. I don't have it out here, but it's
Ah.
it's one of those books that like I keep on display because like it's just like you love that book kind of thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Totally. Yeah, I could see
Mm.
that. That's a living room piece, right?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So, no, I'm very interested in that. There were some things that I was reading like not long ago, and I'm forgetting or I'm losing what exactly it was and where it came from. I know that sounds very vague, but the basically though the general topic out of it is being outdoors or outdoorsy type. There, I know what it was now. It was a podcast, and they were talking about how they tried to bring indoors inside. Now, there's an actual like term for it, and I'm forgetting unless I can find it really quick and look it up. But yeah, it was in like even in like professional like environments, like there's some professional places, offices that have pulled off the look really well. Like one time I interviewed in Iowa at John Deere.
Hmm.
And inside they had the atrium and everything, like cafeteria, even smaller places. Like it was more than just, oh, here's a real plant. It was like they
Hmm.
really tried to pull indoors inside for their work environment. Well, there was a podcast about that just recently, and they really were trying to describe, like why this would happen, or
Hmm.
why someone would want to do this. And it's going back to more of the fact that, we need more outdoors, and whether it's fresh air, sunlight, trees, just all of that. And it's just very interesting how like I feel like it's really become I don't want to say a trend, but um maybe more aware,
Hmm.
and maybe it's something because of what we've gone through in the last year. But it's super interesting. I mean, have you heard of any sort of things like that too, where um it's just about like bringing people back to that more, like getting them to realize how much of a distressor it is for someone. And because I know, like, even in paddleboarding, I mean, even last summer, and I have said it multiple times that there were several people that they just wanted to be on a board and outside. They wanted to learn. It wasn't about that. It was just that just them being on a board outside and seeing a sunset was more than enough experience for them. And I only have them for about an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes anyways, you know.
Yeah.
But it's just interesting how, like, that's really become more of a thing now. And I mean, don't you think that, like, or agree that you've seen like more of a trend? And like I said, that trend is just lack of word, but
Yeah, I think so, definitely. And I've definitely done readings about that, in actually part of like my marketing campaigns too, of like the fact that, we feel better from a mental health standpoint, from a physical health standpoint, uh, from our emotions about, when we spend time outside and what that does for us. Uh, it's it's very healing to be outside. And, especially in the past year when people have been really trapped inside their houses working and not really have anywhere else to go, I think people have been craving this outside time. I mean, people are leaving big cities. There's a reason the place where I'm living now is the fastest growing city in the country, which I don't love, but
yeah, right.
it's changing it up. And yeah, it's so good for us to just spend time outside. Like, I've seen studies that said even if you like look at pictures of nature,
Mm.
it does more for you, like,
Mm.
during the day. So when my desk set up, because I don't do retreats full time, I do have a day job, and my whole desk setup is right in front of my window, so I get to stare at mountains all day long, and I swear it's what's helped me get through everything this past year, and it's what has made like the past year of like ending that relationship so healing and so helping me move through it, was the fact that I could just be outside all the time. And even when I'm not outside, I'm staring at the outdoors.
Yeah, same. I've had studies. Outdoor magazine or Outside magazine is one of them that has wrote many times for even children
Hmm.
to be outside and play. It just helps improve their attitude. And one of them was even about prescriptions, which is funny,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
just
Doctors
it.
prescribing the outdoors. That's the
Yes,
thing.
the
And
nature
the flip side of
RX.
that is like, besides just being outside, like moving your body outside, it adds a whole nother dimension. So, if you're outside and like you said, you had your people like just wanted to watch a sunset, that's totally cool that you get the whatever good, you know, hormones or chemicals that are going to your brain. But when you're moving your body and you get the endorphins and all of the other goodness that
Right.
comes with it, it's so good for our well-being.
Yeah, yeah, that's definitely something that I've seen quite a bit. I love it. I love it, but I think REI is having a trouble keeping up with their inventory.
I think they are too. I and then the other layer to that, it's funny. It's like if you're outside, that's one thing. If you're doing something physical, that's another. And then if you're in communities, that's another aspect of it. So that's like a huge study of like how we, thrive when we're with other people. We are generally happier when we're around others. Even for introverts, just like saying hi to a person can help.
Hmm.
Um, so
So
that's kind
true.
of what I'm doing with FreedWoman Retreats. I'm bringing people outside, they're moving their body, and they're connecting with other women.
How many people will you have on the retreat?
This summer will be 8.
The big one?
Yeah, the big one.
Oh,
I
okay.
usually cap even the small ones, unless I can get like a second person. I feel comfortable with 8. That's usually the max, with like just in case something goes wrong.
Sure. Yeah.
Hmm.
I can remember my massage therapist telling me this was several years back when I was super stressed out, and before I was doing yoga, but I wasn't really heavily into it at that point. But I would book a massage with her, and she used to tell me, she says, "Oh, like your shoulders were like up into your ears, and this would be like February where I've had enough like being inside and doing my desk stuff and." she would say, you need to just at least get out to see the blue sky,
Mm-hmm.
because she says, think of it this way. It's very crazy, but a smoker can go outside and have a break and get fresh air,
Mm.
which is a stress relief. And,
Mm-hmm.
you're still stuck at your desk, and because you're not a smoker, and you just need to take a break and go look at the blue sky. And it just really helps your like eyes, all the, enzymes and everything that is connected in your body with what you see, and connects to your brain, and then just the overall feeling inside. Something so
Yeah.
simple.
So simple. That's why. So I live in an apartment, and there's a like frisbee golf course over there. That's like right outside, and I can see the mountains on the other side, and are actually on both sides. And I'm very happy not to have like a fenced in yard right now, because I could get easily carried away with work or whatever during the day. But because I have a dog, like I'm forced to go outside every 2 hours or so, or probably longer than that. I probably stretch it, but
That helps.
it's it's nice to like be forced to go outside, even in the like really cold, frigid temperatures. It's a nice break.
Yeah, I got the same scenario. I can't, I might be able to skip one day if it's really bad weather outside with her, and she sort of knows it. It's like, yeah, it's not the day to go outside. But other than that, I'm pretty forced to go.
Yeah, just even if it's like a few like half-hour walks. That's what we did today. Like we went a few times out, and he's sleeping right now. It'll be good. And also it's good for me. Like it refreshes me, gets me away from some screen time, and
Yeah.
gets me to see the sun.
Yeah, for sure. The sunset's amazing there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I can say. It's
Better
like
than
I
Philly?
yeah, that, and I love sunrises too.
Yeah, do you get
Alpenglow. Alpenglow is like the reflection of the sunlight onto mountains. So I used to say like I
Oh.
love sunsets and sunrises, and now it's Alpenglow. My Instagram profile says forever chasing Alpenglow because it's my favorite scenery outside, and I can see Alpenglow from the windows of my apartment. So I'm pretty much the happiest person.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's amazing. That's
Hmm.
It has a lot to say about environments and uh where you live, and I can kind of relate to that in a way. I always say we're in our own little pocket or our own little bubble paradise where I live on a lake, and people are friendly and outdoorsy, out walking, being on the lake and stuff like that too. And I I feel like it's very different outside. Outside from here anyway, but you know, yeah, it is what it is. But super super fortunate.
Yeah, definitely. You're on Lake Michigan, right?
No, I'm in Sylvan
Oh,
Lake. Yeah. Lake Michigan is like on the um pinky side of the mitten.
oh yeah.
You know, and I'm actually like more like in here. But
Oh.
I'm with if I describe it, I'm in a lake area. So there's several lakes actually that are taking up like real estate, in the area. So um, ours is probably the one of the biggest, probably, or third, or at least third in line of the.
Hmm.
So there's a ton of little ones even just within the area.
Hmm.
So it's kind of unique to Metro Detroit area, even though I'm not that close to Detroit. So
Mm.
best way I would
How big
describe
is
it.
your lake?
It is 700-ish acres.
Wow.
Yeah. So what it does actually is it goes around like even a point. So there's even a small section and a larger section of the lake, which is what we
Hmm.
usually say Big Sylvan or Little Sylvan. And then it actually connects through some canals, which are nice to paddle. And then it goes to the
Nice.
back. There's another little lake back there that's connected, and they call that one Otter Lake.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So enough area to paddle to do the boat, and Yeah, so sunsets here are pretty amazing,
Yes.
actually. The
Uh-huh.
sunrise can be pretty
Um,
cool too. I've caught some cool paddleboard shots that way on my paddleboard, early morning when it
mhm.
finally warms up. But, I've gotten out actually a few times already, and it's the earliest
Yeah.
I can well, actually ever, I think, because there's some times where the ice is still out there. So,
Yeah. So it's not frozen right now.
no, it unthawed quickly, and we've had some nice, just sunny days where it's not been too windy. And
Mm.
I don't go very far. I haven't done anything, too crazy, but at least just to get out and, do that first paddle and do some turns in the water and everything. And yeah, it's been kind of cool. So
That's awesome. I'm
yeah.
sure your first paddle is equivalent to my like first snowboard run or like my first climb outside.
Oh yeah, for sure. Now, do you mountain bike?
I don't. I tried it once, actually out here this fall, and when you do an activity for the first time, and you're like, yeah, I got to do that again. That was awesome. With mountain biking, it was kind of like that was fun. I don't feel the urge, like I'm not itching to do it again. So
Oh
I'm with all the other activities out here, I'm not gonna be itching to like get a bike.
yeah, that's another thing to have to buy.
Mhm. Yeah, exactly.
More gear.
Yeah, all the gear,
Like gear, I know, right? I
all of
get
it.
always gear. If you so do you tell me about some of your traveling. Have you gone like Mammoth? Mammoth was actually out in California. They had some talking about mountain biking. They had some crazy mountain biking out there when the snow's gone and it's
Mhm.
summertime.
So I haven't been to Mammoth. I've been to Squaw in North Lake Tahoe, but in the
Yeah.
winter. But actually, last summer I was in Grand Teton, and uh, my trip got cut short because of the wildfires.
Oh,
So this summer, my one of my closest friends, she's my adventure buddy. My friend Stella and I are going back to Grand Teton for redemption.
oh yeah.
That's what we're saying. Yeah, we had an amazing time, but we didn't get to do what we wanted to do.
Hmm.
And this time we're going back like a month earlier than we went last year. So we're going in July, and we have a campsite for a week. And I think my friends from Colorado are going to come up and visit. And
Nice.
yeah, talk about lakes. Jenny Lake and the lakes in the Grand Tetons are like incredible.
Really? Oh.
Yeah.
Is this like another
I,
bucket list item for me?
oh, 1000% add this to your list right now.
Add it on.
I went last year, I went swimming in which lake did I go? It may have been Jenny Lake. It may have been a different lake. But at the base of the mountains, no one was around for whatever reason. And I went swimming out to the center of the lake where we were. Uh, and the water was like a little bit taller than me, and I was just treading. And I looked down and I could see the bottom of it. Like that's how clear it was.
And that's in California too?
No, that's in Wyoming.
Oh, that's Wyoming. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Hmm.
That's amazing. So you don't have to go very far from where you're at to get farther
No, so
west.
yeah, so where I'm located, I'm like right in between. Like if I drive 5 hours south, I'm in Grand Teton in Wyoming. If I drive 5 hours like northwest, I'm in Glacier National Park. And
Oh,
then there's Yellowstone along the way. Then there's like Idaho Falls area. There's a lot out here.
yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, Glacier's another bucket list. I've been wanting to do that, see that one for sure. Yeah. Have you been there?
I have not, but hopefully this summer I'll make it out there, even if it's just for like a long weekend. I definitely want to check it out.
Yeah. Are you gonna do it with your truck?
Yeah.
Truck life.
That's the plan. That's why I wanted to get the truck situated because I'm in grizzly country. And if I'm going to be doing any like dispersed camping or anything, I don't want to be in a tent with grizzlies.
Yeah, that is that. Yeah, that's true. That's something you got to think about for sure. Yep, all that out there, wildlife.
Yeah, all of it.
All of it. Well, you'll be able to use your bed, right? You've got that. Yeah, you're
Hmm.
good. You're good.
Yeah, I have some friends out here that are going to help me build like some kind of platform to put over the wheel wells. I don't know how I lucked out, but my roommate's an architect. One of my other good friends is an engineer, and my other good friend has all the tools and loves making things. And they're all women, so it even feels even more empowering.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm gonna like make them all dinner, buy some beers, and we're gonna get together and build my whole camping situation.
Oh, wow, that sounds awesome. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm very lucky.
you're like the fourth, you're either the fourth or the fifth person so far now on the podcast that have come up with yours is very unique. It's truck, but I used to follow a long time ago some photographers back before even Instagram. When people probably really followed blogs more or less.
Yeah.
And they had a truck. It was a Toyota.
Uh-huh.
And it was what they did with the bed is they stacked. So the bed was on top and then they had like levels underneath with like pull out
Hmm.
drawers and stuff. So they had probably things to charge batteries and
Hmm.
all the other things that they needed was like down below, but it was all divided up with like I remember these drawers and probably part for outdoor shower or something like that too.
Hmm.
But I loved following their adventure, and that's another thing. See, it's kind of like gone or became trendy. I mean, I hate to
Yeah,
call it that, but
it
just more
is.
just more popular. More, I think people have gotten inspired. So why not?
Yeah, I think so too. It's such a great idea, and yeah, it's good that people are finally like, or not finally, but like getting back into the outdoors, you know, just as long as they can preserve it and,
Yeah.
leave no trace.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. And because I follow a lot of podcasts and things like that, uh, within the paddleboard community, there has been some people that have talked out loud that they love the idea of people getting more attached to the outdoorsy life and especially paddleboarding and talking about inventory of paddles and things like that. Obviously people are buying them and we're just hoping that they're getting some instruction and a class of some sort for safety, and number
Yeah.
two, yeah, leave it how you found it, or
Hmm.
pick it up, please. I mean, if it's not yours, I
Yes.
mean, just try. you
Yeah,
know
exactly.
yeah. So very very cool talking about things that come together full circle, which really sounds like what you're doing in your life right now. You're kicking it.
Thank you.
Yeah, it sounds really great. I would love to come out there. It would be amazing. Um, our life is going to be trailer life.
Yeah, you need
Very,
you need to be able to carry all the boards. But yeah, if you come out here, please let me know. I can show you around here, all the places to paddle.
yeah, that's amazing. And actually, you were referred to me, so let's give a shout out to her, Cami, because I know she'll hear the
Can
podcast. And she's been amazing, and we've found a way to network, through the podcast and Instagram. So I've been really having fun with it and enjoying hearing stories like yours and how everything has been between each one unique but similar, or they cross paths in a way.
Yeah, Cami and I just worked together so well. Like we met for the first time like a couple years ago, and then when we planned our events, it was just the easiest working relationship I ever had. And like I was very discerning about like who I partner with, I need to make sure it's an even split with the work, but also that like, we're aligned and like we have the same kind of work ethic. And we were just like, all right, here are the pieces. Here's what we're gonna do. Let's make this happen. And it's every event that we had planned. I mean, there were always going to be hiccups of people showing up late or weather. We had to cancel one event at one point, but we just had the best working relationship and had such great events together. So I'm hoping that like with some of her cross country road trips, we can somehow coordinate some another adventure out here in Montana.
Oh, I'm sure she'll be wanting to. She'll be hitting Michigan and then she'll hit Montana.
I like it. We'll have to tell her to stop by.
Yeah, that would be awesome for sure. Yeah, it's been really nice, getting to know her a little bit more than just pictures on Instagram. Oh my gosh. Do you have an inspirational message or something else to share that you would want to just shout from the mountaintop?
Um, an inspirational message is, I guess, always listen to your heart. Following my dreams and following what I want to do made this move out here so easy, and made starting FreedWoman Retreats so easy that, I was listening to what I felt I believed in. So listening to yourself.
Yeah, that's a good one. It's a really good one.
Thanks.
Yeah, and a really good one for people to hear even probably more of, now with everybody's life
Yeah,
upside down.
definitely.
Oh my gosh, it's been so great having you on. I love your story and I really appreciate you sharing it. And who knows, maybe you come back for a part 2 and tell us about your summer season and all your retreats out in Montana.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you so much, Misty.
Yeah, thank you, Sarah. It's been great having you.
Thank you.
Thank
Have a
you.
good one.
Yeah, you too. Thanks again, everyone, for tuning in and enjoying another podcast episode. Thank you, Sarah, for sharing your story and your move out to Montana. The word I was trying to think of was Fresco, Colorado. I imagine your place looks very similar to that spot, anyways, in my mind, because I've never been to Montana. But biophilic design, that's the other word I was losing during the recording, and it's all about taking outside in and designing spaces. So go check that out, and I will leave Sarah's tags for Instagram and where you can find her on her website.